What's that one cringe-inducing memory from years ago that you can't get out of your head? Doing a practice for a play in front of a small crowd of like maybe 35, 50 people when I crapped my pants. Middle of my lines I felt the wetness and had to run off stage. I kept myself locked in a room the rest of the day. High school play. I start improvising. I don't even know why I did it. I just got so into the moment I forgot there was a script. God, I can't even describe it in complete sentences. I hate me in that moment. Edit. It was gospel. Kind of like the Bible but confusing. Non-linear and musical. And I was one of the stuck-up priests. When Jesus started talking about God stuff I was technically supposed to be quiet. But I was all like, this man commits blasphemy. And I pointed to the crowd, I think. Like, you heard it. You all heard it. Then when he started talking more I was like, oh look at me, I'm Jesus. I have 12 best friends and I don't wear shoes. Apparently that was the bad part. Went for an interview and handed the person my coat when they were trying to shake my hand. Update. I did not get the job, unfortunately. A few years later I went to another interview during which my stomach would not stop growling. Which is one of my worst nightmares made real. Somehow got a job there, lol. At the end of a great job interview. Shook the guy's wrist instead of his hand, and held on like I meant to do it. Didn't get the job. Right. I grew up in an extremely sheltered household, so my brain just didn't understand / know what racism was, and we were trying to pick teams for basketball and I tried to organize by color. I was a stupid child. I was interested in a guy, but didn't know how to start a conversation with him. We were standing next to each other while preparing food for a barbecue and I just thought it was a good idea to start a conversation with I like the feeling of touching raw meat. When I was 16 I got set up with a family friend's daughter. We started dating in a long distance relationship. After a month or so it was school holidays and I went up to visit her. I didn't have a lot of money, but I wanted to buy her a gift. I settled on a beautiful jigsaw puzzle. She wasn't too happy about the gift. Because she was blind. Yes, I bought my blind girlfriend a jigsaw puzzle. In the moment it seemed very appropriate, because each piece was unique, right? She can feel the pieces right. Pure effing cringe. Still haunts me. Edit. Thanks for the silver. I was walking back to my car after a grocery trip and an older gentleman said hello to me as I walked past. My brain completely short-circuited, and I responded with GGGGGG, and quietly trailed off, averting my gaze and walking faster. The time my internet access was shot over a weekend. So I went to work as usual on Monday, and stayed and worked all day, and only found out I'd been fired the week before, when I got home. Small, very high-profile business. Everyone was acting weird all day. I soft-broil myself to sleep in this memory. Edit. For all the people mentioning hours and legal technicalities, this was a very small firm. The owner was famous within the field. Think of a celebrity with a staff of 7 people. No hours. No manager. Just a small group of people glad to work there. I was there as a freelancer. Definitely that time my professor asked what I did over the summer. And I wanted to say hanging around and catching up with sleep. All I managed to blurt out was sleeping around. That wasn't even true. Severe lack of social skills and a desperate desire for attention made me lick a gym floor for a solid 3 feet. Streak to try and impress a pretty girl. I don't know what the hell I was thinking, lol. When I was 16 I offered to take a girl I liked to the movies. I approached the ticket counter and asked for 1 movie ticket. Immediately realized I was an idiot, but was too embarrassed to rectify my mistake. She purchased her own ticket to the movie. Still haunts me almost 10 years later. I was a bit drunk at a friend's wedding and decided to scroll all over 2 pages of her wedding book to fill up some space. Later someone was looking at the book and I heard them say, "Look at this. What sort of person does that?" I still feel bad when I think about it. Trying to run away from home when I was 6, only to stop at the start of the driveway because I was always told that it was dangerous to walk on the street without an adult. My parents have this really nice photo of me, with my little backpack, standing there looking really conflicted. I fell into a fountain. Not once but 3 different times in 3 different fountains. On a trip to Europe with a group of kids from school, when I was in 7th grade. Of course my crush and his friends went on this trip and they proceeded to call me Fountain Girl till high school graduation. When I told everyone that I was auditioning for the national talent show in my country, and got rejected after singing 2 verses in the producers' auditions. That made for an awkward return to school. Farted in class during a test back in middle school. Everybody knew it was me, but I was too awkward to confirm or deny it, so I just acted oblivious. That fart must have been pretty awful, because a bunch of classmates around me covered their noses with their shirts and the teacher cracked open a window. Just the complete awkward silence that followed the fart and the feeling of everybody staring at me in disgust still makes me shudder with cringe whenever I think about it. Edit. I've been reading countless of you guys' embarrassing and hilarious fart stories, and it feels comforting knowing I'm not cringing alone here. So thanks for that. So for context, I went to a really sheltered Catholic high school, so didn't really know how the real world worked. My first job, when I was 16, and I'm being introduced to all my co-workers. One of them named Morris, who was obviously homosexual, asked me if I was too. I wasn't but wanted to let him know I was cool with it. Again Catholic high school. And said no, but I'm open-minded about it. To which he responded, we are gonna work on that. What an awkward summer. I cringe every time. My dad caught me masturbating wearing women's lingerie when I was 15. I fell asleep in my high school history class. I was all the way in the back of the room, so the teacher never noticed. Until I farted in my sleep, so loud that it woke me up, and my head shot up and smacked against the back wall. Never heard the end of it. Edit. Holy cow, this is my first ever post on here. Thanks everyone. Edit 2. Since a couple people asked. At the time nobody really reacted. Except the guy in front of me was just kind of shaking. He turned around to look at me, and was laughing so hard he was crying. Also should mention my crush was 2 seats over roof. Me pooping in my pants in 1st grade, because I thought pooping in toilets other than my own is illegal. So my mom had won this prize at a big shopping center. She was allowed to take 3 guests for a day of shopping. That included gift cards at various stores and a $250 gift card at a restaurant of her choice for us to eat at. Anyways, it was a big deal, and they had a film crew come and tape some of it for their website. The reporter lady comes up to me when the food arrives, and she's like, "That looks fantastic. What did you get?" And I was caught off guard, so I look at the camera and go, "Gift cards." Ultimate cringe, and it took me about half a second to realize what she meant. When I think about it now, at least I can laugh about it. Edited for typos. Doing a promposal for a girl who broke up with me 2 days after a 3rd grade spelling bee. I misspelled field and lost it on stage. Touching tongues with my younger sister. We wanted to know why tongues tasted like. So we stuck our tongues out, booped our tongues together, and almost vomited. Edit. Jesus Christ, you guys. I thought I was the only one. Anyway, as a thanks for all the upvotes, I'll share another story. I used to lick cats because I wanted to help clean their fur. I was under 10 years old. This guy in one of my classes in 8th grade I was friendly with, BC he didn't seem to be good friends with anyone else in the class. He was a nice kid, just maybe a little awkward, but we had good conversations about so hey. Then one day at the end of the period we were both packing up our stuff and he says, "Hey, do you want to go out with me next Wednesday?" Wasn't interested in him that way. And I was so off guard that I froze like a deer in the headlights until I finally stammered up, "I think my mom has plans, sorry bye," and basically ran out of the room. I still feel bad about it. Every time I saw him in middle school and high school after that I felt terrible. Sorry : ran face first into a bench when I was 16 and cried, haha. Only one person saw. And of course it was my crush at the time. 5th grade. Sobbing in front of the whole school when I lost the geography bee to my best friend. I beat him next year though. Then went on to get my ass kicked at regionals. My sons and their friend kicked their ball into the middle of a little pond at our local park. I let them use my walking stick to try get it out, but they couldn't quite reach. A man passing by with his son offered to help. He got the ball, but dropped my stick. As he was reaching for the stick he fell in. He laughed. We laughed and he went off home to dry up. He returned 10 minutes later, because once he got home he realized his phone was missing. His phone that contained baby pics of his son and newborn at home. We tried so hard to find that damn phone. I still feel bloody awful. I was in my early 20s. Had a girlfriend of 3 years and we were like 2 years into our relationship. And one time, after we had sex I said, and I still don't know what possessed me to say this. God, this is so embarrassing. I said, where are you gonna find stick this good? It was so awkward. And I think about it like once a month, because it is easily the dumbest thing I have ever said. And it makes me cringe so bad. Someone punch me in the face. So I was having a psychological evaluation for a military school. The psychologist gave me 2 pieces of paper to draw a male and a female and name them. The male one was easy. I just have to draw myself and use my own name. I was having difficulty drawing a female and couldn't think fast, so my stupid ass drew the psychologist because she was cute. Then came the part where she started asking about the drawing. The male part went smoothly. When she asked about the name of the female I said actually it was you. Plus a smirk. Then she straight up wrote the name of the drawing actually it was you. I still cringe about it up to now. Went to the beach with 3 friends. 2 boys. 1 girl. At some point in late middle school. We were swimming in the ocean, and I got knocked down by a huge wave. When I stood up to face my friends, the boys started screaming. I looked down. And there was my left boob on full display. Threw that bathing suit out as soon as I got home. First post. In elementary, the little elementary playground and the older elementary playgrounds were right next to each other, and there was an imaginary line we couldn't cross. Me and my friends had a hugest crush on the big kid that played soccer. I was so stupid. I shoved a dodgeball up my shirt and yelled, "Hey, cute big kid. Look, you got me pregnant, I have nightmares about it." Luckily he moved away. I was really quiet and stood up in the middle of class to say something. Finally speaking up. The room was silent. I slowly sat back down. I accidentally sent implied gay pronoun to a customer at work instead of a friend. When I was 11 I was singing a video game rap at the top of my lungs. I thought I was alone. Then my dad yelled from upstairs for me to be quiet. The anonymous Valentine's Day card that I sent to a crush second year of uni, in which I wrote the cringiest poem because I didn't know what else to write. Accidentally touching my friend's nuts in 5th grade. We were playing tag. Classmate. Do you like Linkin Park? Me. IDK. I've never been there. I walked into a pickup game of college volleyball players. Me. Aren't we supposed to spread out in a grid? Rotate each time possession changes. Also me. Getting it over the net with the receive. They were so nice, but this was not gym class volleyball edit. Spelling. Accidentally called the teacher dad in year 3. Today actually. At work one guy was opening a door with his back because his hands were full. Me. Being stupid. I thought, I'm gonna help. And opened the door the rest of the way, causing him to lose balance because he didn't see me. He didn't fall. But I smiled at him holding the door with a half smile, and he stared at me like if I was a weirdo. I guess it kinda looked like I tried to make him fall. When I was 13 over 14 I had this crush on a guy who was an asshole. But I guess I just thought he was hot. We were chatting on Snapchat and he told me he thought he liked this other girl. And I started to panic. I sent him a photo of me crying. Because I was a socially incapable person, and I thought that was the best move. He screenshotted it and sent it to 2 girls I hated. Because I knew they thought I was weird. But now I see that was fair. And they all had a laugh over me crying. But this one was definitely on me. I was a weird kid. I'm cringing just writing about this. So, I was in kindergarten. We were having a celebration, because we had learned how to read by ourselves with almost no help. So, I was wearing shorts that day. Little did I know, they were too big for me. So I was walking. I was excited. I ran. My pants slipped all the way down. My underwear was on display to grade K. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. It was so embarrassing. Haven't worn shorts, unless it was 100 degrees since. Just one. In high school I messaged a boy I really liked and told him I liked him, and he didn't feel the same way. Okay fine. No problem. Then we were in the same homecoming group, where everyone had dates, but the two of us, so when it came time to take pictures, we had to stand next to each other, as if we were together lol. Oh lordy. So my mother told me that when I was little I would run around the neighborhood naked. When my aunt and uncle had a party, when I was about 7. They filmed my uncle spitting fire and you can hear me saying you could roast a chicken on that in 10 seconds, and then everybody laughs at me. Still cringe thinking about it. Edit. A word.